Every morning, in the underground parking garage of a downtown office building, there's a guy who pulls in driving a beat-up 2011 Honda Civic. Faded paint, a dent in the rear bumper he never bothered fixing, seats that have seen better days. His coworkers walk past, glance over, and think, poor guy, probably drowning in debt. What they don't know, that man has over $4 million in liquid assets. His wealth is spread across index funds, real estate, and a savings account his kids' college tuition doesn't even touch. He goes to work because he wants to. If his boss says something he doesn't like, he already has the resignation letter drafted. That dented Civic? That's not poverty. That's a strategy. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I talk about money in a way that actually makes sense for real people. No fluff, no hype, just the stuff that works. Today we're going deep on something that almost nobody in personal finance talks about openly. We will explore the hidden advantages of looking less wealthy than you actually are. Now before you click off, I'm not here to tell you to live miserably. I won't tell you to eat ramen every night or feel guilty about spending money. This isn't about deprivation. This is about stealth wealth. Stealth wealth is a financial philosophy backed by decades of hard research. It explains why the people quietly winning at money almost never look like they're winning. I'm going to show you the data, break down the psychology, and walk you through a real numbers comparison. By the end of this video, you'll understand something that most people spend their entire lives never figuring out. Let's get into it. So let's start with the research. Because this isn't just a vibe or a theory. There's real data behind this. Back in the 1990s, two researchers spent years doing something no one had really done before. They didn't study celebrities or tech billionaires. They tracked down everyday millionaires. These were the ones living in normal neighborhoods, driving normal cars, and they asked them everything. How they spent, how they saved, what they drove, where they lived. The results were published in a book called The Millionaire Next Door, and what they found completely shattered the mainstream image of wealth. Here's what the data showed. 80% of American millionaires are first-generation wealthy. This means they built it themselves, from scratch, with no inheritance, no silver spoon, no trust fund, just time and discipline. The average millionaire drives a used car, typically a Toyota, Honda, or Ford, not a Mercedes, not a BMW. Most of them have lived in the same house for over 20 years. They are not flipping to a bigger place every few years to keep up with their income. And here's the one that really gets people. They tend to live in middle-class neighborhoods. They deliberately avoid wealthy enclaves where everyone around them is also spending to signal status. When the researchers first published this, even they were surprised. It goes completely against what we've been sold our entire lives. Speaking of what we've been sold, that brings me to the psychology behind all of this. Once you understand why people spend money to look rich, you can never unsee it. Over 100 years ago, a sociologist named Thorstein Veblen identified something he called conspicuous consumption. This is the idea that people don't just buy things for their function. They buy them to signal status to others. Think about it this way. A Rolex watch and a $30 Casio both tell you the exact same time. Both are accurate. Both are reliable. So what are you actually paying for when you drop $10,000 on a Rolex? You're paying for the signal, the story. You are paying for the label that broadcasts that you have made it. And luxury brands know this better than anyone. They don't sell products. They sell identity. They sell the feeling of belonging to a certain class. And the moment you understand that, you start to see the trap. Because here's the brutal truth about that trap. Every dollar you spend on a status symbol stops working for you forever. Every luxury purchase you make today is compounding interest you're robbing from your future self. Let me give you a concrete number, so this isn't abstract. Say you're choosing between a $35,000 practical car and a $100,000 luxury car. The difference is $65,000. Imagine investing that difference at a 7% annual return for 25 years. That money would grow to roughly $350,000. That's the real price tag of wanting strangers to think you're rich. Not the sticker price, the opportunity cost. Now, knowing all of this, let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with yourself. Which category do you actually fall into? Stanley and Danko divided people into two types. They called them PAW and UAW. PAW stands for prodigious accumulator of wealth. UAW stands for under-accumulator of wealth. And here's what's critical to understand. This has absolutely nothing to do with your income. Nothing. It has everything to do with the gap between what you earn and what you keep. A teacher making $50,000 a year who invests consistently can be a PAW. A corporate director pulling in $300,000 who maxes out credit cards every month is a classic UAW. They have a big salary, but a tiny foundation. Here's a simple formula to find out where you stand right now. Take your age, multiply it by your annual pre-tax income, and divide by 10. That number is your expected net worth. If your actual net worth is above that number, you're a PAW. You are building real wealth. If it's below, you're a UAW. You are funding the present at the expense of your future. Most UAWs aren't bad with money because they're careless. They're bad with money because their environment is constantly sending them signals to spend. A new promotion means a nicer car. A bonus means a better apartment. A VP title means a watch that says VP. It's a treadmill, and the speed just keeps going up. And what's scary is that this treadmill isn't just expensive. It's actually dangerous. Here's something most financial content completely skips over. Visible wealth is a security risk. A literal, measurable one. According to Javelin Research, the identity theft rate for people with over $1 million in assets is 8.1%. This is compared to 6.4% for the average person. High net worth individuals are 43% more likely to be targeted for fraud. Fraud experts call this spear phishing. These are highly targeted attacks that are completely different from generic robocall scams. These operations are sophisticated. Scammers will scrape your social media, track your check-ins, and map your relationships over time. They build a detailed profile, then impersonate your bank or financial advisor at exactly the right moment. The more you put your lifestyle on display, the more information you hand them for free. In 2023 alone, Americans lost over $10 billion to fraud. Nearly half of that came from investment scams specifically designed to target people who appear to have capital available. The gray man strategy of staying unremarkable and blending into the background isn't paranoia. It is protection. But beyond protection, there's actually a much bigger advantage to stealth wealth that plays out in your everyday life. Let me show you what two different financial choices actually look like over a lifetime. Not in theory, but in real numbers. Two people, same income of $80,000 a year, same starting point, same job, same city. Person A lives modestly and invests 25% of their income every year. They invest $20,000 at a 7% average annual return for 25 years. Person B lifestyle matches their income and manages to put away about 5%, or $4,000 a year. After 25 years, Person A has approximately $1.1 million. Person B has approximately $220,000. Same income, same time period, same market. The only difference is the percentage they chose to keep. Person A's net worth is 5 times higher. This comes from one decision, repeated thousands of times over a quarter century. On the outside, during those 25 years, Person A probably looked like a boring, unremarkable office worker. Person B drove something flashier, wore better clothes, and took the kind of vacations that get likes on Instagram. But at the finish line, Person A has freedom. They work because they want to, not because they have to. Person B has a closet full of depreciated goods and a retirement account that won't last a decade. That freedom is what the stealth wealth lifestyle actually buys you, and there are more advantages to it than most people realize. Let's talk about some of the ones that don't get discussed enough. First is negotiation. If you look like money, you get charged like money. Warren Buffett doesn't worry about being overcharged because he looks like a regular retiree on the street. That just an average guy appearance saves him real money every single day. Second is relationships. When people don't know what you're worth, you attract people who actually like you, not your lifestyle. The moment wealth becomes visible, everything shifts. Colleagues get competitive. Distant relatives start appearing with business proposals. Suddenly, you can't tell who's genuinely in your corner versus who's doing the math on what you're worth to them. Third is workplace leverage. This one's counterintuitive. The employee who looks financially comfortable is perceived as someone who needs the job. The one who shows up in the Honda and brings lunch from home is assumed to be hungry, motivated, and committed. But the moment your financial security becomes visible, suddenly there are questions about your attachment to the role. Fourth is your kids. Research consistently shows that children of visibly wealthy parents develop weaker financial independence. When kids grow up seeing money as something that simply exists, they're less likely to develop the habits that actually create it. The greatest financial gift you can give your children isn't a trust fund. It's letting them believe they need to build their own. So let me bring this all the way back to where we started. That beat-up Honda Civic in the parking garage. His coworkers looked at it and saw failure. But what that car actually represented was a choice, made every single morning. He chose to put compound interest on one side of the scale and the approval of strangers on the other. He chose compound interest every single time. Real wealth was never about what you show the world. It's about how much you quietly keep for yourself. It's about what that quietly becomes over 20 or 30 years of letting it grow. The lifestyle of the millionaire next door forces us to completely redefine what success actually looks like. Success isn't the flashy things you can buy. Success is the things you never need to buy. It is the freedom to walk away from a job that doesn't respect you. It is the freedom to handle a family emergency without panic. It is the freedom to retire when you decide, not when your debt decides for you. That's what's sitting behind the wheel of that Civic. And that is something the people walking past him in that parking lot may never understand. Alright, if this one made you think, do me a favor and hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content. Drop a comment below with one word, PAW or UAW. Be honest. Knowing where you stand is the first step. And if you're not subscribed yet, now is the time. Next week I'm going to show you the exact system for building this kind of stealth wealth from the ground up. You don't want to miss that one. I'll see you in the next video.